Hey guys, this is Melissa Zad for Into Boxing, and I am delighted to be joined by world champ Natasha Jonas. How are you doing?
I'm good. I don't think I'll ever get bored of that introduction, but yeah.
Why would you? I mean, it's such a huge achievement, and you deserve to be, introduced with it. I've not actually caught up with you since your win, so firstly, congratulations. How was it?
It was, I think, everything I dreamed of and more. I think more than any, the biggest emotion I had was relief. It's all right saying you're good enough and believing you're good enough, but without production, the goods, like it's hard to keep going and being dedicated and picking yourself up every time. So when it finally happened, I was made up for me. I was made up for Joe as well, and yeah, it was just relief.
I mean, which attempt number was that for you to get the world title? Was it the third? Was the third time? Yeah, so third time lucky.
Yeah, I think that was kind of what it was billed as, which was another pressure. I was like, "Ooh, there's nowhere to go if I lose this one." So yeah, luckily for me, it worked out.
You obviously had to come up in weight to take, to go for the vacant world title shot at that time. And now there's obviously talks of you and Hannah Rankin mixing it up. Give us your thoughts.
I needed other options. I couldn't sit around waiting for results to happen. I think it's no secret that I'll never make super featherweight again. I was lucky to make it the last time. And then Katie was in like a duel with Serrano. Chantel was in the tournament. McCaskill was kind of flitted on the thing, but she's got fights now. So it was either, wait 6 months, another 6 months for them to happen, and the results to go the way I needed them to jump on, or take that opportunity. And the first thing I said to Ben was when we was in conversation about signing was, I want to be a world champion, can you do it? Because all the other champions are with other promoters, so it made it a bit more difficult. And he said, I promise that I will, and he kept to his promise, and I can't complain. He got me. It was supposed to be in the third fight, I think it was contracted. He got me it in the second.
Amazing.
So I've got no issues. I was happy.
And in terms of going up in the weight, how did you find your performance on the night? Do you feel like it affected it, or do you feel like actually you just felt stronger? You felt as sharp as you normally would?
Yeah, I think power's something that I think that I carry regardless what weight I am.
Yeah.
And it isn't just because you're heavier. There isn't just a case of eating more and training less. There was a lot of science that went into that camp, with me strength and conditioning coach, with me nutritionalist, because it's okay being heavier, but you've got to carry that weight for 10-2s, and then you've got to perform at that weight, and it is different being heavier. So but you've also got the ability to be able to create muscle and all them things. So there was a lot of science that went into it, and I was at the weight. I was way under the weight for a good maybe 5-6 weeks. I trained at the weight I knew I was going to get in the ringer, and so I was comfortable. And all fight week you're kind of worried about weighing in. Normally you're like, until you step on them official scales, you're like, oh, I'm going to make the weight. Even though you're going to make the weight, you're just like, you're worried. But all fight week, because I was that much under, I was worrying about the fight, which was so weird, because it did normally you'll have your weigh-in and then you start worrying about the fight. You're like, ooh, weigh-in's done, now you concentrate on the fight. But all week it was just a fight, and by the time I got in the ring, I must have done 3 million rounds in my head before that.
Wow.
So
actually really weird must have been for you to have a completely different focus, for that whole week. But yeah, in terms of the fight itself, were you able to kind of soak up that energy, to soak up that experience? Because obviously, it being the third shot at the world title, the pressure being there, were you still able to kind of embrace the experience as a whole?
Well, Joe would give me very strict instructions, I want you to do this. We had Cindy, one of my main sparring partners, in the changing rooms, literally going over drills seconds before we got the knock to go out. So we was doing the drills for a good 5 minutes before they came and knocked. And one of the drills was slip backhand hook. So that worked out. But then he's giving, Joe's concentrate, do this, do that, and quite intense. And then he went, don't forget to enjoy it. And I was like, oh, okay. So I've got a mix of 2 songs in my walk-in. So I thought, right, Emily Sandys, slow, I'll just stand there and I will soak it in. So I'm looking around. Obviously it's Carnbrook, MEM packed out, or whatever it's called now, the AO Arena packed out, and 20,000 people all with the phones out, and I was like, boss. I can only imagine it's like what Ed Sheeran feels like, or you know what I mean. And then when the second song kicked in, which is Beyonce, Girls Run the World, I was just so totally focused that like people were putting their hands out to touch me, and I just walked. I just didn't even want to break my concentration to do that. I just walked in the ring, and obviously it showed in my performance that I was focused. So
it was a fantastic performance. I've always said, you're one of my favourite female boxers, actually. Like, I just love your style, and I really, really enjoyed watching that performance. I was so happy, so chuffed for you to get the world title. So, Hannah Rankin, what do you make of that fight?
Obviously, I believe I can win, and obviously she believes she can win. We've had talks, not us two personally, promoters have had talks before, and it's like I felt like there was a bit of stalling. So obviously, and we had a Twitter exchange, and she was saying it was my team, I was telling her it was her team, and Dennis pops up and says, well, actually this, and then Dennis made a few comments and I put a few facts back, and he didn't reply. But like I said, she's already said that she's happy to fight me when we suggested, which would be in Liverpool, which would be in September. So hopefully that can happen. There's only money and other little issues to sort out. So I think at times when there's such a buzz around female boxing, and we've had the Katie Serrano, and we're going to have the Clarissa and Marshall, I think why not add Rankin and Jonas to that? I think it makes sense for Britain.
100
and for female boxing.
100%, and unification is the whole trend right now, isn't it? And I think that would be a great matchup. Obviously, you have vast amount of experience over Hannah Rankin. You shouldn't have a accomplished amateur career such as yourself, but either way, it's just great to see people having the opportunity to get in on that platform and do their thing, basically.
Yeah, I think we've almost got to this stage, and it's a good stage. That one belt just isn't enough, and everyone wants 2, 3 unified, undisputed the goal. I think, and I've said that, expressed that to Ben, whether that's at this weight, whether that's at a different weight, and then I think I can be proud of my accomplishments and call it a day.
Last question from me. If you have a message for Hannah Rankin, what would that message be?
Sign the papers. You and Dennis, just sign.
I love it. Natasha, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Great to see you.
Yes, thank you.